Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem, El Shai Bashem, Makakodash, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, Decoding the Movie, Leave the World Behind. And you see here, this is Go Black to Africa. He saw the movie, said he saw it 2.5 times. Might as well say 3. It says, I did not know Leave the World Behind. Messages is of slave decoded. So now I was watching, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole video, or maybe I watched it and kind of fell asleep because it was like about 4 in the morning or whatever. That was put up by the elder out of GMS out of Las Vegas, Elder Karatazar, and he was going into it. But I saw them. Did I see it? I don't know if I saw his video, then watched it, or saw the movie. Matter of fact, I watched the movie. I didn't watch the whole thing. About maybe 50 minutes in. So this pops up on my notifications. Go Black to Africa, and you see the title right there. You know it's talking about the movie. It's a long dragging movie. You want to get them to get to the point. The cinematography of the movie, they're not the best directors. The shots were not that good. I mean, but you know, if you were in the filming and stuff and angles, I mean, maybe that's their technique, but you know, it's kind of drawn out. The acting was a little robotic. You know, you're not going to get any award for acting. But anyway, with all that being said, the thing about the movie is a bunch of codes, and I saw the part where the ship came in, and when the TV set where everything got blacked out, couldn't call nobody on the phone. The so-called owners of the house and his daughter, owner of the house and the daughter came in the middle of the night. This guy's arguing back and forth with his wife. Anyway, they go on the beach. The ship kind of comes in, and it gets closer and closer, and all of a sudden it comes on shore. And they're running, and it stops there, and it says there's a tight shot of the ship. It was called the White Lion. First thing I said, well, what does that mean? Now here, it says White Lion, first slave ship in 1619. 1619 is a very important year, although Jake's and the Northern Kingdom were being pulled back and forth into slavery. The first experience of the Israelites going into slavery was the 500 indigenous people, which are most likely Gad, or only the Indian people. I got to go back into the whole history, but it was Columbus that made the decision. He said these are good people. They give you the shirt off their back, not so many words. So his thing was, you know what? Let's just put them in slavery. And the ones that went into slavery are the ones that accepted Jesus. The ones that didn't were put to death. So you accept their religion, and then for a reward, they put you in slavery. What kind of madness is that? Anyway, so this brother right here is speaking, going into the messages and all that, decoding everything, seeing it almost, a third time, 2.5 times. And everybody else is seeing it. You can see somebody said watched it twice. I seen it. It's deep as hell, bro. I'm going to watch it tonight. So it's going to get a lot of views on Netflix from word of mouth among Jake. So it says here, St. Louis, White Lion, first slave ship, 1619. So you had that. You had the ship come in. And people started running. Nobody got hurt. They didn't show anybody getting hurt, and the ship just stayed there. It stopped on the sand, and there was a close up, a tight shot of the ship, the White Lion. Then, in when they had the snow on the TV came back on. It was an emergency alert, and then it was they were kind of getting a signal, and the signal would go to 1619, and the signal would go out. 1619 also brings something to mind, so I got to watch the rest of it. Then the part with the Jake actor, he go to pick up a watch, and there's a man's arm that's dead, and a bunch of people. I believe I think one of the people. You got to watch it more than once. I believe he looked like a captain of either a ship or a plane, and the plane crashed and so forth. So there's a lot of jumping around. Then you had the little girl wearing the shirt, NASA, which reminded me of the movie that this guy put together, starring Jack Nicholson. What's his damn movie? I can't even think of the movie. But the little boy wore that shirt, which the director of the movie, the hell is his name? Can't even think of his name. After the movie, he was walking around with a shotgun. I forget how he died. I don't know if he died. He got sick or whatever. But he was bringing out certain codes too, so they borrowed from that movie. I can't remember the movie. Please help me out. Anyway, a lot of y'all gonna watch it. Also, Apostle Ron Blob said he watched it with the rest of them brothers out there. Another thing, it's backed by the Obamas. But anybody that watches it agrees that there's hidden codes in the movie. So this is what I did. Then I'll watch the rest of the movie and some more of the movie, and I'll do another video on this. I'm not going to make this long. So I put in White Lion. It said the White Lion ship. It says the White Lion. The White Lion was an English privateer, privateer operating under a Dutch letter of marquise, which brought the first Africans, which were Israelites, fulfilling Deuteronomy 28 and 68, Joel 3, to the English colony of Virginia in 1619. So in the movie, when the signal started coming back in and going out, it kept going to 1619. What was the story of the White Lion ship? In late August 1619, 20 to 30 enslaved Africans, Israelites, landed at Point Comfort, and it was not comforting to them. And by the way, the word Nawak, Kanawak, or Nawak, which is Noah, means rest, comfort. So Noah's name is synonymous with comfort because they were comforted when the ship landed. So we got another thing put into that. Today's Fort Monroe in Hamilton, Virginia, aboard the English privateer ship White Lion in Virginia. These Africans or Israelites were traded in exchange for supplies. Several days later, a second ship, Treasurer, arrived in Virginia with additional enslaved Africans, which are Israelites. Okay, the ship is attacked. The White Lion and the treasurer in the Gulf of Mexico and robbed of 50 to 60 slaves, Africans, Israelites. The two privateers then sailed to Virginia, where the White Lion arrived at Point Comfort, or present day Hampton, Virginia, toward the end of August. Summer is over and we're still not saved. Jeremiah. They put what is, it should be why was the ship called the White Lion. The White Lion was an English privateer operating under a Dutch letter of Marquis, which brought the slaves and the car. They're telling you the same goddamn thing. Who was captain of the White Lion? John Jope. The captain of the White Lion, John Jope, captured Angolans, which are Jake, Angola, Africa, which are Jake, to the Virginias, represented by Governor George Hardley, and his Cape merchant Abraham Perisey. These were a turn taken into servitude in local homes and plantations, fulfilling Deuteronomy 28, mainly Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Is a White Lion based on a true story? Was the White Lion a pirate ship? The White Lion slave ship is affirmed on this date, 1604. This was an English pirate operating on the Dutch letter of Marquis during the Middle Passage. Whatever happened to the White Lion? The White Lion disbanded in 1992. Wow. And not even 100 years. And not long after their first compilation out. No, this got to be a damn. Okay. that has nothing to do with the ship. That has nothing to do with the ship. What is chattel slavery? Chattel slavery is the most common form of slavery known to Americans. This system, which allowed people considered legal property to be bought, sold, and owned forever, was lawful and supported by the United States and European powers from the 16th to 18th century. So when you say, well, the government had nothing to do with it, it was those wicked white men from the South. It was the government. When slaves ran away, the government was a part of catching them. The police come from the paddy rollers. Early part of this history, the turn of the century, they used to call a wagon that they lock you up in a paddy wagon, which goes back to the paddy rollers. Did anyone survive the white ship? Okay, this is White Ship. Where was the White Lion filmed? Where was the movie White Lion filmed? I don't want that. Were there slaves on the Mayflower? Let's see what that says. I'm not going to say too much more. While the Mayflower's passengers did not bring slaves on their voyage or engage in a trade as they built Plymouth, it should be recognized the journey took place at a time when ships were crossing the Atlantic to set up colonies in America that would become part of a transatlantic slave operation. Let me look at this one, then I'll certainly close it. Where were black people on the Mayflower? What were the three types of slaves? Slavery was practiced in many different forms. Debt slavery, like you had certain whites that went into slavery, which is indentured servants, enslavement of war captives, military slavery, and criminal slavery were all practiced in various parts of Africa. So anyway, let me do this. Deuteronomy 28:68, Joel 3 comes to mind. And see, you Edomites, you're going to have to go into slavery. You're fighting, you're biting, you're scratching. You got certain time ass niggas fighting on your side, but y'all going to lose. Look at this. This is a heinous crime right here. The old chattel slavery. Basically, they were not even considered humans. A terrible passage from Africa, remembering the transatlantic slave trade. Take a good look at this, Esau, because you're gonna be shipped from around the world to serve as slaveries. Anyway, I said I was gonna make this short. With that, I'm gonna say shalom. You get a chance, watch the movie.